Call to order the City North Plains Parks and Recreation regular meeting at 6 p.m. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Andy, would you please take the roll?
Yes. Chair Dunningham.
Here.
Vice Chair King. Here. Member Burns.
Here.
Member Gaylor.
Here.
Weber is excused. And our ex officio is Robert Butch Kendall.
Here. Here. Thank you. Consent agenda. Has everyone had the opportunity to read the minutes? Is there any feedback or changes or questions? No? Approval of consent agenda?
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. Public comment. Is there anyone on Zoom? I don't see anyone on Zoom. Anyone in the audience that'd like to speak to any matters that are not on the agenda? I see none. New business. We have an application here for the vacancy. Sherry Simmons, would you like to please come forward? For her.
Okay.
I can speak loud.
No, she wants it on the recording, so.
Here you go.
Thank you, Sherry. Can you just briefly tell us how you'd like to serve on the parks?
Well, I saw there was an opening. I have, my work schedule is loosening, and so I will have more availability, more time,
Great.
and willing to serve.
Okay, thank you. Zach, do you have any questions for? I do not. No. Patty?
What do you do in North Plains?
What don't you do?
I'm president of the North Plains Events Association, so I help the head coordinator do lots of events in this town.
Thank you.
Evan.
Park related, what do you think needs to be worked on first or the most?
What I think needs to be worked on probably isn't in our control. Because I think it's maintenance issues. But as far as new parks, just looking at different needs for the community for different ages, I think will be good, because there's all different ages that are attending all of our parks now, so.
Anything else? No. Bush, any questions?
No, no question. I just worked with her on city council, and she's more than qualified to do this job, and then it's great to see her back and wanting to put her foot out in another area, so it's great.
Thank you.
All right. I don't have any questions for you. I know you've been in for a long time. You played many different roles in the city, so
Yeah.
it's always nice working with you.
Been volunteering, I think, for about 23 years in some capacity for the city, so.
Thank you for applying.
Sure.
If there's no questions, any more questions for her, do we have I guess, an agreement that we pass this on to city council? Or we
Think so?
Yes, yes.
I vote to approve Sherry Simmons.
Okay, the city council, great, so I assume this will probably go to city council. On Tuesday, okay, next Tuesday, okay,
I have it on my calendar,
all right.
just in case.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so discussion about directives to the Parks Foundation. Cindy came in and talked to us last meeting a little bit about the Veterans Park and the flag and supporting the maintenance and stuff on that park and the flags. She also was asking for feedback on what would the Parks committee like to see as far as things for them to focus on. And I think she gave us a kind of a list of things that are on. That's kind of a hard thing to, I went back and looked at that. It's, until we really know what we want to ask for fundraising and stuff, then go out and get a lot of that COVID and a lot of work with the city and stuff. I mean, it's kind of hard to lay that out for right there, but I want to start the discussion now about, you know, what type of things we want to look at for fundraising and stuff from that foundation. Do we want to continue on with the improvements on Jesse Mays? Do we want to look at new parks or buy new land or different types of parks? I mean, where do we want to start and focus on? Or maybe it's recreational things or something too that we want to.
What does the city want us to look at? I mean, the thing is, do we want to jump around or do we want to focus on the most important matters?
I think, yeah, that'd be my same agreement. I think finishing one project before we start another and see everything through.
Any feedback on that? I mean,
Well, I guess in the current master plan, which was about 2018 or so, we've actually knocked off a few of those projects. We put in some playground equipment at Memorial Park, built a Veterans Park, had refurbished Jesse Mays Park, did the West Union Trail and the Turtle Pond thing. So we've done a few projects. Honestly, on the CIP and the master plan, we're kind of there. This building and this park can always use work, especially as long as the Garlic Festival is going to be here, because this is still really the only community meeting space we have. So whether it's kitchen or redoing the floors or what have you, that can always happen. Something on the east side, I don't know. But to Member Burns' point, maybe the focus can be on one project and really,
yes.
and it's not just the Parks Board and the Parks Foundation and maybe the business community or whatever can all work together in that. And the Parks Foundation is that 501c3 vehicle, which they're meant to be. So what does the city want? I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, this building, or I think we all realize that the Garlic Fest can't continue to be here forever. So we think about where that might be and kind of, focusing on that, where that space might be, that might be a good goal too.
I think some of what we're hoping to find out too is what the UGB expansion ends up landing for larger park spaces and stuff too. And that will come with a little bit of time here, not too much time, but and I think that'll give us an area we can focus on for new parks and bigger spaces and stuff. So maybe a good thing to focus on short term might be continuing to upgrade the space like the kitchen or the floors or I think the city's done a pretty good job on their audio and video stuff here, so I don't think we can touch on that much more right now, but What do you guys think? I mean,
I think the kitchen,
yeah,
I think that, I think the kitchen needs to be worked on. And I'm not saying that I'm leaving any of my jobs tomorrow, but at some point, I am going to cut out some of my other jobs. And that doesn't mean, I mean, that means that probably the use of the senior center won't always be accessible. And so that kitchen needs to be upgraded so that this building, I mean, if it's going to stay a community building and it's going to be rented, that needs to be worked on. That is a sad excuse for a kitchen and,
so being that you, have a lot of experience with the senior center and stuff too. I mean, I don't know if we could do a full-on commercial kitchen in there. but,
right,
I mean, what do you envision that space to kind of look like to be viable for this building? You know, what do you think? I mean, stripping it down to the bones and starting over again, I think. is a good
yes,
thing.
absolutely.
But what does that look like then?
I don't think it has to be as detailed as the senior center by any stretch of the imagination, but, I mean, obviously a dishwasher and a better stove and a much bigger refrigerator, because I mean, those are the most important, things in a kitchen. If it can be expanded at all, I don't know if that's possible.
I haven't walked in there for years, so I don't even know
Well,
what
you're-
size it is, so.
We would just have to have somebody come in and, you know, look at it and see, what can be done. I mean, yeah, it goes right to the bare bones and, you know, I don't know how much the stage is actually used. Whether,
That's a good question. Do you guys know Butch or Andy, the usage of that stage or?
Member Patty Burns doesn't know how much the stage is used. I certainly don't have any more input. I'm here for the public meetings, doesn't get used. She's here for the events. If it's not getting used, then I'll take her word for it.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Christmas carolers of Jingle used to use that.
no, actually, they were on the floor.
There you go. Okay.
The only time I think is actually that I've been here is if we have a dance here, from the, you know, the senior center. And
Acting
I
class.
mean, even if it were to take it back to the edge of the stage, that still has what, I mean, I guess maybe that is the wall, but still, you can take a few feet off and make that kitchen larger.
Is there anything mechanically underneath that area there?
Oh, I have no idea.
Your water line.
Water lines, I know that, because I remember we had a water leak underneath there, but
And what's behind that door? Is
that's a
there
storage,
just storage back there?
which could be
Water.
incorporated
I think the hot water.
in another area,
A water heater?
yeah.
But many years ago, we used to store the chairs underneath the stage.
Oh.
We didn't have all that back there.
Mhm.
Used to pull them out. Then there's been, oh, I suppose I can think of 8 or 10 dances with the orchestra up there. And a lot of, good fundraisers and, you could drink beer in there. And in those days, oh my goodness, you know, it was quite the deal with. I don't know how many cakes we sold in there and raised quite a bit of money, but, it hasn't been used for years. So I think it's a good way to short that up, do something with it.
Okay. All right. You guys, what do you think, Zach?
I think it's a good start. I think what we're talking about, I think having kind of a short-term goal and then forecasting long-term, I think is something that as a group, we should continue to move forward with. I think getting people to be willing to donate a new refrigerator, new sink, you know, a couple hours of man time here and there, some paint, you know, really making this building the heart of this park, I think would help a lot. You know, continue to bring not only old customers, but hopefully some new ones as well, especially as more homes continue to get built in this area. I would also, looking at the information that you guys sent forecasting, especially long-term, I guess, we will discussion with the city and what they would want to do, but potentially maybe we just try to lay the foundation for a multi-purpose rec center or something like that, that could maybe then allow us to keep Garlic Fest and some of those things long-term and continue to provide more need and opportunity, and that can obviously be a several-year project. I think that one that we kind of define a couple key points we could really work towards and look to accomplish.
Yeah, I think once we get toward a bigger space and stuff, that will be great to actually work on that.
Is, that part of the building going to be, continued as the city's area?
That's a nice way to do it.
Well,
as a filing cabinet.
I think it's a library right now, is.
there, that was
Yes.
file cabinet.
File
And we, the city has, there are certain files we need to keep forever.
But will
We-
they continue, I mean,
Well, until we get a city hall, yeah, we're packed in there right now, so there's no space to put banquet boxes or anything. When we build a new public works building, maybe we can move some things back in, but you know, how it goes with storage.
Oh, yeah.
Calls, but yeah, like land, there's certain land use applications and things we gotta keep forever, and it's a pain, but we do. So that accumulates.
How close are you to getting a new city hall?
Well, I think within a year, no, we're years away from that. You know, best case scenario, finalizing a lot of the details in the public works building. So that could go into construction later this year. That will probably take 12 months until move in for that. So hopefully by fall, late summer, fall 2024. That'll create some space in the city hall and we'll, but not for long, I think we'll start a city hall study later this year or early next year.
So realistically, we're probably 5 years out from there for City Hall, probably 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Does that help?
oh
No.
no.
That's not.
I think once that's vacated, to maybe look at how can we reuse that space. By that time, hopefully, we're moving on to new communities and
Yeah.
stuff too, so. Hopefully, Evan, do you have any comments about kitchen and?
Like we're talking about for space and all this. Obviously, I'm sure you all know is start trying to look for the next best place to have all these festivities. That's maybe somewhere a little bit bigger that's cheap right now, but will eventually come into the city, like you said, with the UGB coming in. Whenever it comes in, I can't remember. Knowing about that beforehand, maybe start talking to the owners of such properties.
Well, there's already some spaces that UGB expansion team, I guess, looking at for the larger park spaces and stuff. There's a couple different areas. One's gonna be out by the lake, and one probably still where we were talking about before on the other side of the street. So, but that's even a ways out. I mean, before you start developing land around it and stuff to where you can actually start developing parks and stuff within those spaces. So we're going to be here for a little while longer, so that comes into development. So short-term wise, do we want to focus on kitchen and upgrading this building?
I think so. I want to make the inside just as nice as the outside is now, so.
For Patty's sake, yes.
I think it's a good.
I deserve it.
Maybe.
I personally think it's a good idea because, I think this space would rent more, to get utilized more, if that was upgraded. That's one big downfall right now is that kitchen.
Yeah. It would, I mean, it could be booked every weekend or, I mean.
And we can talk about, possibilities of what else can we do on the west side of the building here? Is there things that we can make improvement wise over there that still meshes well with Garlic Festival and stuff? I mean, can we do some type of a stage or something over there for our concerts in the parks or story time at the library?
Or like a permanent pull up awning. So you can set up. something like that,
That could be too.
much larger than obviously a regular one.
Or it could be just, built out with a stage up there, even, it's, how can we better utilize that site over there? Taking into consideration, Garlic Festival still, that they still need to squeeze in here for the time being, so, but something like that, they will probably go to the so. How would we go about, Andy, getting some people to look at, kitchen remodeling and stuff? Getting some design ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, using my, all right, is it on?
Yeah.
I'm used to using the mic, I don't speak a whole lot. I'm thinking maybe we can talk to our consultant engineer, sorry about that. And we can look into some of that, or I can just, I don't know any of the answers to that right now. It was,
We're talking appliances.
New cabinetry, maybe blowing the wall out a little bit,
We can talk to some contractors and get some bids,
get some
just on
ideas and some
that.
bids. And
Cabinets, appliances, blowing the wall out. I don't know about.
how about moving the wall over instead of blowing it out? Is that a better way to say it? What if we were to move that wall over 4 foot or something?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's potential. I mean, that's where the sink is and everything, so it starts getting a little more. You're messing with all the plumbing and water lines and everything. That's a gas. So.
Gas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you need a convection oven or anything like that. Maybe a double oven would be good to, hold it up, if they're catering something. But I wouldn't go convection, I would just keep it simple. A large commercial refrigerator would be nice.
So if I can share it on camp, is that, you want us to start doing that so we can get some bids on what that would look like and then go to the Parks Foundation?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that's gonna take a little while. We can have that done this year. Yeah, it'll take a little while to coordinate that, unless you have free time. I don't, just do that, but we can, I think we'll pull in Patty though for some functionality and questions when that. Gets to that point.
Okay. We gotta start somewhere, and that's probably the best place to start.
We could have Zerbury Construction come in and just say, rough order of magnitude, what's it gonna be? They can give you a target to shoot.
And that's a good idea too, because the foundation is gonna need time to fundraise, and that's just take time, period. So as long as we can get a ballpark maybe of an idea and a design of it, get sketched out. Like,
The questionnaire you're talking about, I wasn't here last month. Is that a project questionnaire? Was it kind of a list of questions?
the questions,
idea?
how much it was gonna cost, and what's your timeline, and,
Yeah, okay.
we kind of need to start off in that direction to begin with, and then have a more serious conversation with them.
Did she give you any indication that they've kind of developed strategies or relationships to funders and things like that?
No.
No.
I do have a question. Is this building like a national registered?
It is not.
Landmark or anything? Okay, I didn't know if there was anything that we needed to take into consideration. And I don't know what structurally that needs to be done over there. So that's kind of threw me for a loop when you guys were asking, what can we do? And like, well, I'm thinking all these other things that needs to be done structurally. And it's like, I'm not an architect. I deal with the public infrastructure. It's like, I probably have someone else who has that information and I can get back with you. But probably not going to be the next meeting, but likely later in the year, because that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse with architecture. Than the other things.
I don't know about this structure, and you can kind of see what it's the big beam stuff, but I have no idea what its capacity is on it. It's the old gymnasium, you probably know that though, but. All right. Any other ideas you guys can think of off the top of your head of what, maybe something else we could focus on with foundation?
Evan?
I don't know, it's just be too much, we have something we maybe don't need, but maybe signage at the parks to show the location of the other parks and or walking trails that we have in the city. Cause not everyone quite realizes that.
Yeah, there was no, I mean, like out on the main roads and stuff like that, pointing toward parks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That what you're talking about.
And or like maybe at the parks, like little maps of where the other parks are.
We had talked about that for a long
We
time.
talked about it.
Yeah, but never really got off the ground. Since it's gonna take a while to even fundraise and do the kitchen even, that's gonna take a while to get that.
Yeah, I thought this might be an easier project to start with.
Mhm. Okay. Again, we're gonna need to talk about getting quotes for doing stuff like that. So,
Hopefully they end up better than the directional signs.
what's that? Oh, okay. I understand. I don't know if the city workers or you guys can help out with any part of that with the parks. So he's talking about little kiosks, basically, it has plexiglass on it that you can change out, or you know, has a picture of the parks or trails mapped out in the area, so people go, oh, I can walk down here, and there's another park down here, and each park kind of references, you know, the other type of thing. So,
Wayfinding?
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know if that's something the city can do, or do we need to look at trying to build, you know, quote something like that out to contractors? It's definitely a much easier reach, I think, than it is gonna be the kitchen. I mean, we can get a kitchen in the works, but that's gonna take time.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of that, so I can't have an answer right now. Yeah.
Something on top of that, I just thought about it. Just off of that, we should also, probably also with our, I assume we're gonna be going over the master plan again, now that we've met our goals. We should probably start coming up with some trails that go into all the new neighborhoods now that they exist and they're walkable to. So
Well,
just an afterthought.
Well, now that Andy's here, and I can kind of put him on the spot a little bit again. Now that we have our public works person, is it possible to start thinking about, the Parks Master Plan again? I think last time we had a grant to do that work, if I remember right.
What do you make, yeah, we made out.
Could we ask the foundation to look for grants for redoing the master plan?
Yes, I'm trying to think, I know you can get grants for water master plans, it's not super difficult. Parks, I don't know, that was before my time, I don't know what that came from. Yeah, we'll need to do some research on that.
Okay, about that, all right. So kiosks. Park master plan. Kitchen. Okay, anything else, guys?
See a comment from Kelly.
What's that?
I think it said their kiosk would be a good thing for scouts, like a scout project. That's the message I saw.
That's a good idea. We can check with them to see what, if we kind of had an idea what we'd like to see, and maybe it's just a pegboard type thing. I don't know how well those would last.
I believe we got a little board over here on the side of the building. Kind of inquiring
Yeah,
about
it used
that.
to be there to get moved over here now. Yeah.
It's told one time there's a reason why it's on that side of the building and not over here, but I'm not exactly sure of the exact reason. It got lost over time.
And probably, that's probably not in your face really either, as far
It's
as,
hidden behind bushes, behind
yeah,
the benches now, so.
okay. But that's got a locking thing on it that you can get to, okay. So, you know, a couple of 4x4s and a roof with something like that on it would go a long way, I think. Is there a scout group that we work with locally here, Andy? There's multiple scout groups around that.
I haven't, personally.
Okay.
I know the previous public works director, Blake, did, but, I mean, if someone in the audience has connections commenting about scouts, maybe they do. I do know that someone reached out to Lori maybe a few months ago about potential scout projects.
I can talk to Lori and see if he has a connection there. That's a good idea. Who is that, Kelly, online? Thank you. Okay. Yes. Did Sherry have a question or a comment?
Just an idea of a smaller fundraising, maybe, they could do something for a little, lower landscaping in front of the building here. Would be a smaller
Okay.
thing that they could fundraise for to make it look better out here.
Like a flower bed or?
Some bushes, you know, just something that it like spots and.
Okay, thank you. All right. On to unfinished business. Recap on Jesse Mays' ribbon cutting event and rededication of the basketball court. So I wasn't able to be here. Evan actually, I guess, had a few words. You want to go ahead and tell them how it went and what happened and
Well.
we think then we'll ask Patty too, because she was here for ice cream and
Yeah.
that one too. Look at that.
I think only you weren't here, so I'm only telling you,
My daughter graduated that day, sorry.
you rescheduled it.
Okay.
Well. Went pretty well, took us a little bit to figure out how we wanted to tie everything up with the ribbon. We ended up going with the first plan of ribboning off the entire play structure. And then after that, a little bit after 11, we all gathered in the court, basketball court. Terry, the mayor, said some few words. Then I said a few words, and then we had the family speak on Herman. And a couple of his brother Greg spoke, and then I believe 2 of his cousins also spoke.
And then a counselor,
Cameron,
no, a counselor, a school counselor.
school counselor, okay.
Yeah.
Was Cameron
Yeah,
there?
she spoke too.
Yeah, she also spoke. And then we had the big reveal of the sign, and we let the parents pull down the thing covering it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yes. And then after that, we went out to take some pictures as we cut the ribbon around the park. We let the kids gather around. Make sure they stayed clear of the scissors. And then we obviously had the ribbon cutting, and then we took some more pictures over by the new plaque, permanent court plaque with the family. There was pizza, drinks, popsicles, watermelon.
Yeah, the family brought food.
Did they really? That's so nice.
The family made it a much bigger event.
Yes,
Good.
It was,
it was emotional, so it was.
made me cry,
And
but overall, it turned out much better.
Yeah, it was good.
good. All right.
Yeah, I thought, speaking candidly, I thought it was good. I think as an organization for us, my personal lifetime, we do a better job of planning. I kind of felt like we were flying by the seat of our pants. Nobody really knew what was going on. We kind of showed up and we winged it, and the happy accident turned out really well. But at the same time too, I think even if it's my role or whatever I can do to help with that, I think we can lay out some sort of itinerary for big events like this, so we all kind of know exactly what we're doing when we get there. We can attack it. I think it'll make things a little more smooth. But I thought the reception from the community, the family especially, I mean, there was a lot of wet eyes out there. So it was great to see the compassion and love for everybody here and everybody's involvement and what they did. And as soon as you cut that ribbon, man, the kids all ripped right out and away they went. So It was a great game. I think that we can do a little bit more, try to make it a little more streamlined and clean and, you know, really reflect what we want it to be.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it was a little bit after the city park act, because we didn't have too much time to plan for it.
Right.
We had only discussed it at the one meeting. Fortunately, we didn't. It should have been a discussion that started a couple meetings in advance.
Eddie, any comments on
No, it was good. There was it wasn't a huge turnout, but it was a good turnout.
It's
And,
good to hear about more.
yeah, and the weather was nice. Weather was good. And, again, it was emotional with the
Yeah,
family and that, but.
I'm glad the family is still here and
Yeah.
a reminder to them that we remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the ribbon cutting went well. I think the kids just loved it, so.
Question, who took the pictures, might I ask? Who was the photographer?
Ask Andy.
Oh, she around here, or, oh, good.
Yeah, she's gonna take some photos for us this summer, this year.
Good, oh,
Different
it
events.
was good to see somebody there like that, yeah.
Yeah, I just got them from her today, actually. There's
Oh,
probably a Facebook post going out within the hour.
Did you have any comments about that?
You were there. I was there, yeah, it, you know, let's see, it's been over 5 years since, I think the incident happened.
Yeah.
And when I remember they went over to the senior center when we have council meetings and those, Mr. and Mrs., you know, and I think his younger brother was there, they wouldn't say anything, you know, you could tell they were just so heartbroken. But yesterday, you could see that they're part of this community now. You could feel it. They spoke, each one of them spoke. I believe that both family didn't say much, but it felt so much good to see them express themselves a little bit, you know, in English, and it was great.
Wow,
So it was teary-eyed, that was tough. Yeah, yeah.
very good.
The pickleball was completely busy while we were doing that. So it was great.
Yeah, good, all right. Were you there, Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you have any comments on it either?
I feel like the family was really grateful,
Yeah.
really grateful for the city and what they've done for them.
Great.
And their extended family, I mean, there was.
Yes.
A lot of their
Yeah.
family there.
Yeah, there must have been about 50.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, there was.
Man. Nice, okay. Thank you. Update on 4th of July events. Is there any updates?
Famous before.
Yeah.
Except Lori's gonna add to the flyer that Kona Ice is gonna be there.
Okay,
But everything's the same, nights will be there, with hot dogs and, parade, flyer. It's all been updated, so it's all ready to go.
okay.
Mitch is here for 2 hours.
Till 2 o'clock, I think I saw, is that right? Yeah. Okay,
Playing music?
yes.
Where's he gonna set up?
That,
It'll be
Over there?
Yeah.
Is there a tent, things, or gonna need a tent?
we had a tent last year, the city put up a tent, I think they put up, I think, the 2 small tents like what we had for the 60th celebration.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm sure that's what they put up, they didn't put up the big ones yet.
Yeah, all right, well.
So we're not aware yet, but
No, Patty's been organizing this, yeah, I didn't know that Mitch was playing, so yeah, just didn't know where, and didn't know the thing, or.
out here,
Yeah, I thought
Out
here,
there,
yeah.
okay, yeah, he is, yeah.
because the parade starts and stops here, right?
Right.
All right. Board comments, Zach? Any comments? Patty?
Bring on a new kitchen.
Evan?
Before we get to kitchen, let's get my pool and or lake.
If you really need to, want to run a meeting or something, I could take a meeting off.
No, it's fine.
All
I don't have any comments. Council? It's coming down the road, you know, looking for this garlic festival, I think you want this to continue for many years, do we not? I mean, getting people to,
Yes,
getting a different location, I mean, that's gonna, we need a 5 or 10 acre site, if we're gonna go into this over here, I'm not gonna be in favor of any small until we get a big one first. I really am, it's time, we gotta have a place for all these people to park and. Enjoy themselves, so.
Yeah, parking, if they develop that space out here on Commercial Street, we're really gonna be hurting.
Parking. So I got a question about that. When you charge for the parking, does that go to the landowner?
no,
No, it goes to the fire department, doesn't it?
no,
No?
it goes to the MPDA and it's part of our income
Oh,
and,
okay.
and part of whoever is assisting with that. It's been the,
The banks, park on.
no, it's
No.
been, for port,
The school out there.
yeah, for their
Oh,
trip
the
to
Catholic
DC Kids, that's what it is.
Oh,
DC
decent,
Kids.
okay, good, cause I wasn't.
Yeah. This year, I believe we're going to use, Washington County Search and Rescue.
Hmm.
And the, donation money will go to them.
Well,
Does it actually say that when they come in with the donation? This goes to donation for.
I would hope so, I would hope so. I
No,
think
I
that's
don't
what
think it
people-
does.
Because people may just say, give you a 20 versus, you know, give $10 back for parking, whatever.
Right.
No, that needs to be very specific, is the people need to recognize those, it's going to a charity.
Yeah.
Some sort of, you know, that'll help the parking situation, so I'm hoping.
All right. Dustin? Any comments?
I don't have any of
Are you
that.
getting your feet?
Still getting my feet wet, yeah.
All right. And Andy?
Just to notice that helped on the, couple weeks ago, on June 1st, the downtown event. That was a lot of fun. That was another well-attended event. Again, weather was really good and, we shut down the street the entire day. The community did not implode. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people enjoyed it. So
Oh,
just putting that out there.
yeah,
I'm still a proponent of that, the downtown guys, the Garlic Festival. Maybe we do it in the fall where it's a little cooler. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. If we run out of,
Yep.
we're bursting at the seams here, we don't have another spot, but again, there's still a lot of logistics to work out doing that too, the parking, all those
Did
things.
you
but
see the email from, the road?
Probably not. Was it Goodwin?
Yes,
Okay.
they thanked us for having it.
I never
on
get those.
Thursday night. So I take it's from that they had a huge night.
Oh, yeah, every business along there.
Absolutely.
Just
I
have
know
a
the
revolving door.
I got the same thing from Pearl Vets as well. I asked her like, how have they been doing, like, they pointed to one shelf, like, see that? That used to been full, we restocked it like 3 or 4 times.
oh.
So,
Yeah.
Good for downtown business.
Absolutely.
It is, I thought somebody was new to the city, it was a really neat experience. You know, I'll take my family down there and go walk down Main Street and see those music, lots of smiling faces, I mean, the ice cream line, I don't think ever ended. It felt like it was for as far as you could see,
So
so.
I would get,
It's a good experience.
Get right back in line.
Yeah. Great experience.
And by the way, from the bowls and the cups that we used, we served a little over 1,100.
Wow.
No, really?
Yeah, and that's just people who got food and that, I mean, the ice cream.
Right.
Those who attended it didn't, what's that?
A lot of people didn't get it.
Right. So it was a good turnout.
Yeah.
It was great.
Nice, very good.
how much ice cream do we work over?
A little bit. A little bit.
Any other comments? No, all right.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you in the back.
Just wanted to put a reminder out for the Strawberry Shortcake Feast is this weekend
Father's Day.
on Saturday.
Saturday.
And we will have some vendors and I'm planning on putting them in this gravel area. here, facing parking lot. That way, they're not taking up any court space from anywhere. 'Cause I think I've only got seven vendors.
These are these like 10 by 10 spaces? Oh, okay.
And I'm just gonna put them in this gravel area, right here.
I'm glad to see they put those concrete bumpers in there, protecting that gravel area too. That's very nice, so.
That was our, Dustin, our public works.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, City Crews put those in right for it.
Oh.
How are they attached to the blacktop?
I believe there are 12-inch nails that get spiked into the asphalt.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be moving around.
I hope not.
Yeah. Okay. We will adjourn at 6:45.